Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another standard gameplay video, this time featuring a Calamity Galloping Inferno deck. Calamity is a 6 mana 4/6 mount and has haste, and has whenever Calamity attacks while saddled, choose a non-legendary creature that's saddled at this turn and create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of it, sacrifice a token at the beginning of the next end step and repeat this process once. So you'll get 2 tokens of whatever you saddled Calamity with, and because Calamity has haste, it can attack the turn it comes down, and a lot of creatures we've got in our deck are set up to take advantage of this, either having powerful ETB triggers or powerful death triggers, or both. So the creatures that we most want to copy with Calamity are Terror of the Peaks. Terror of the Peaks is a 5 mana 5/4 flying dragon and has spells your opponent casts that target Terror of the Peaks cost an additional 3 life to cast. So essentially Ward pay 3 life, but Terror was originally printed, I think, before Ward was a keyword. But then it also has whenever another creature ETBs under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So if we copy this twice with Calamity, Terror of the Peaks will be doing 10 to anything, or 5 twice. We also have Workshop Warchief, a card from Streets of New Capenna, a 5 mana 5/3 with Trample. When it ETBs, you gain 3 life, and when it dies, create a 4/4 green Rhino Warrior creature token, and has Blitz for 6. Blitz is a mechanic that you can cast a creature for its Blitz cost. It gets haste, and when this creature dies, you draw a card, and then you sacrifice it at the beginning of your next end step. So this is a really powerful card with Calamity, because when you copy the Warchief, you'll get the 3 life and both of the tokens are created, and when both tokens die, you create 2 4/4 green Rhino creature tokens that hang around. And then anyone who watched my channel will have seen this card a few times. The Vault Point Tyrant, a very, very powerful card from Outlaw of Thunder Junction. 7 mana 6 equals Trample. Whenever it or another creature with power 4 or greater ETBs under your control, you gain 3 life and draw a card. And then when it dies, if it's not a token, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's an artifact in addition to other types. So you won't get that second trigger from Calamity, because the copies Calamity creates are tokens, but you will gain 6, and draw 2 cards just from those 2 entering, and then as well as those 2 entering triggering the original Vault Point Tyrant as well. So these are the cards we are most looking to copy of Calamity, but let's just go for the rest of the deck to round it out. Smuggler Surprise, spree card, base green mana, then you can play 2 generic to mill for cards. You may put up to 2 creature and or land cards from among the mill cards into your hand. Pay 5, you may put up to 2 creature cards from your hand on the battlefield, and pay 1 creature you control with power 4 or greater, gain hexproof and indestructible to end of turn. So a great way to put 2 creatures onto the battlefield, and if we want to mill first, it's not out of the realms of possibility. We'll need 8 mana to mill 4 and then put 2 creature cards onto the battlefield. And because Calamity has haste, we can immediately saddle it with the other creature that we put in and get that value straight away. We have 4 copies of Lightning Strike, our primary removal, except for Terror of the Peaks, 3 damage to any target. Glimpse of Core, ramp, we'll search our library for a basic forest card, put it into battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Brotherhood's End, mostly to deal 3 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. All our creatures have more than 3 toughness, so it won't kill anything of ours. But the second option of destroy all artifacts with mana value 3 or less does comes up. In testing, I played against it was an artifact deck, and it had lots of clue tokens and a few vehicles and things like that, and this basically just wiped their board completely. Topiary Stomper, 3 mana 4/4. When it ETBs, you search the library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle, but it can't attack or block unless you control 7 or more lands. This is also a card that we can copy with Calamity. It's not as impactful as the other ones, but it will get us extra land to ramp us even more. And then 4 copies of Invasion of Zendikar. When it ETBs, you search the library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle, and if we remove the defense counters, it becomes Awakened Skyclave, a 4/4 Vigilance Haste that taps to add 1 mana of any colour, and it also is a land. And again, we can copy this with Calamity to... I've not actually done it. I think it comes back on the invasion side, so we'll get those triggers more I'd actually have to play more to see what happens, but it would be interesting to see. But it's also a good interaction between Topiary Stomper and Invasion. If we play Topiary Stomper on turn 3, we'll get our 4th land, and then we can play the Invasion of Zendikar on turn 4. And assuming we hit a normal land drop, we'll then have 7 lands. Topiary Stomper can immediately hit in the Invasion to transform it. And finally, 2 copies of Spinewood's Armadillo. No real synergy with Calamity, but it is a big creature that if you saddle it, you're going to be getting 2 7/7s smashing in. They don't have trample, but that's not a bad attack to have. But more importantly, we can pay 2 to discard it, to search our library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put it in your hand. And we gain 3 life, so we make sure we hit our land drops, and also that 3 life can be very good against the aggro decks in the format. Lands, pretty basic. A few mountains and forests. We have more forests and mountains. A Boseiju, a Sakenzin, and then just some dual lands to make sure we always have our right colours. That's it for the deck. It's pretty powerful. I hope you all enjoy it. And if you do, please remember to like and subscribe. And I'll see you all in my gameplay. This is a pretty slow hand. Although we can... If we get to turn 3, we can Stomper, which will hopefully get our 4th and then 5th land on the next turn for War Chief, and hopefully we can draw into more land for Calamity. Oh, I think this is the... There's a deck that we played against before where basically they end up just casting a load of artifacts for free or cheaply. Well, let's see if this resolves. Maybe it's not that deck. We'll get another green. So next turn we can play War Chief, and then with another land we can play Galloping Inferno. Tell you what, I'm gonna... Well, we've got 2, so let's just see if this resolves. We need to get counter spells out of their hand eventually. We've definitely got something. Ooh, main phase Memory Deluge means we can definitely get on the War Chief. But we could an untapped land. So we could, fortunately that's not an untapped land, but if we had an untapped land we could have got down Calamity and saddled it with the Stomper. I'm going to glimpse the core, so we definitely have enough mana next turn for Galloping Inferno, and in fact if they tap out again we can probably smuggle a surprise. I'm just going to wait for them to tap out more. Get back another Galloping Inferno and a land. Swinging with a Stomper. Wasn't the best use of... Yeah, not the best use of Smuggler's Surprise, but a pretty good one. Well, they seem to be stuck on mana as well. Well, let's just try and get down the invasion and see if it resolves. It does. And we'll see if we can transform it. Well then, let's get down the War Chief. Well, that might be countered. Nope. Maybe they have a sweeper. Yeah, that's farewell. Well, we'll get down the... We'll get there on a Tyrant, start drawing. And we'll get out a Glimpse of the Core. If we can copy the Tyrant with Calamity, we are in business. And we do have Calamities if they do have counters. Well, we can afford to get out a Stomper first. We're one man away from being able to get that down, cast Calamity twice. Yeah, we're still cracking in for 6, even if they counter Calamity. I've seen Devious cover up in a while. It's alright. Let's just get another land. That's an odd one for them to counter. They're thinking about something. Jace. To mill us or themselves? Us. That's annoying. Milled a Terror of the Peaks. They only have 4 mana left. Ooh, there's another Terror of the Peaks. So we can cast Galloping Inferno and Terror of the Peaks. Well, let's go for it. If ever no more lies, we can pay for it. There's a stick. We'll draw a lot of cards, gain a lot of life. Hopefully do lethal. That's not going to be enough. Yeah.
This is what you get for hurting my people.
Yeah, just with the Terror of the Peaks triggers. I don't know if they thought that Wandering Emperor would save them, but it did not. So a really good result in the end. And in a game that our opponent didn't actually really do much. We are on the play. So we keep this because we can stomp our into invasion and hopefully we obviously draw more action. We have some removal as well. We'll get down the ridgeline first because that's a tap land. What do we discard? I think the lightning strike. It's up against a Demir, maybe crime-based deck. Glimpse of Core, a turn too late, unfortunately. But Brother's End can take out Lazav. Oh, well, that's a interesting combo. I think we are going to have to basically, do we think they have a way to sacrifice a clue again? Yes, they will. Well, obviously that was enough to disrupt their entire game plan. You know, they were still well ahead, I think, because we were behind because we had to take a turn off to kill it. But yeah, a good result in the end, although a surprising one. I wish we had a Glimpse the Core, but turn 3 we can ramp with Stomper. Turn 2 maybe we just cycle Spineman's Armadillo so we make sure we hit our land drops. And then we're not too far away from playing Calamity and crewing it with the Stomper. Let's get down the ridge line. We know it. It's always going to enter tapped. Bristly Bill, so a landfall based deck. Next turn we can invasion. Turn after that, get down Calamity. Oh, so it's a modified deck. They're going to be ramping. If we drew Brotherhood's End, I would play it. Now the question is, will they jump? I don't think they will. Unless they have another one. That's fine. If they attack, we can still play Calamity, which has haste. They seem to miss their land drop, which is good for us. I'm going to play the Tyrant, that life gain, and it is a big blocker. And then next turn we could saddle Calamity with it. It's hard to remove as well. You need to exile it really, or have 2 removal spells. There's Kellen. Kellen's when you play something from outside your hand card, so I'm not sure. I mean, it's a 5/5 flyer. Well, they're tapped out. Well, what we'll do then, we have 8. I'm just going to do this now. Get back a forest and another armadillo. Get down Calamity and an armadillo. Let's crew Calamity with the armadillo. And then next turn, Terror of the Peaks can get in. Well, we can crew Calamity or Terror of the Peaks. They're going to have to block. Obviously, they all gain life back with Kellen, but we are at 29. And then next turn, we just play Terror of the Peaks. And crew Calamity with it. They're going to gain quite a lot of life with Kellen, but well, I think they're still dead. Well, they probably won't attack. No. Yeah, so even if they attack, they would have gone up to 10. We pay Terror of the Peaks. Copy it of Calamity twice. That'll do 15. And then, yeah, that would have been more than lethal. So we're on the draw again. Yeah, if we get to turn 3 Stomper, then turn 4 Invasion, and then we'll be good to go after that. Obviously, we'd like to draw maybe a Lightning Bolt for turn 2 or a Glimpse of the Core. Well, there's a Glimpse of Core. And more land is always appreciated. Our opponent not doing a huge amount. There was no stick. So next turn what we could do is play out Calamity, saddle it with the Stomper, copy the Stomper. We'll get 2 lands from it. Get our last mountain. And next turn we can do that with Terror of the Peaks for lethal. Or I'm sure Vaultborn Tyrant would be lethal as well. They might have a board wipe. Or obviously targeted removal. Well, let's see what they've got. If they let us get the attack trigger, they're dead. Which I don't think they are doing, which is smart. They pitch a Hoarding Broodlord. That's fine, we can still get in for 4. So game's not quite over yet. And we can discard the Armadillo for a land. But they need to take out the Terror of the Peaks as well. Which it looks like they are doing. That's not the smartest thing. I suppose they had to do what they had to do. We'll play out a Tyrant. Swing in for 4, puts them down to 2. Now they need removal for the Tyrant. Yeah. Even if he had a sweeper, Tyrant would have come back as a token. Letting us the Kraken for 6 again. And yeah, with only 2 life left there, would have had to remove both creatures, which, you know, they didn't have any, I say proper removal. Lockflame Scorn's a really good removal card against a card that causes you to take 3 damage every time you target it. It's maybe not the best, but, you know, it was a good result for us. Oh, this, we are on the play, but this hand is too slow. No turn 2 or 3 ramp, so we wouldn't have a play until turn 5. So it's a mulligan. This is better. I think we put Calamity or the War Chief. I think Calamity, War Chief is an earlier play. Although Calamity is obviously what we want to do. We'll glimpse the core. And we'll leave up Spinewood's Armadillo. Although we are against a control deck, which is not a great matchup for us. They're going to counter it. Oh, no stick at all. That is very surprising. Well, let's see if they have something for Calamity. Alright, should have seen that coming. We are quite far behind now.
I am almost sad to see you go.
See, next turn we can play out the War Chief again.
Show them how we greet our enemies.
But we are so far behind. No more lies. No, overcharge amalgam. Well, next turn we can get down the ridge line and maybe start smashing in with that.
Keep watch for intruders.
We could also then smug surprise and hope we hit some creatures when we mill. We'll lightning strike the Malcolm. Well, we'll try to. They discard another negate. Let's hope they tap out. No creatures in those in the milled cards. That's really, really unfortunate. Wow.
May your blade strike true.
Yeah, I think we're done. Yeah, they just had an answer to everything, and you know, controls our worst matchup. We have ramp and some removal, so we just need to draw maybe a Topiary Stomper. I'll give this a keep. Might be up against control again, so not our best matchup. Still looking for that next land drop. We can Smuggler Surprise to mill and hopefully hit some land. Oh, there is the land, and we will just take out that now. What I'd really like to do is get up to 6 mana. Well, that's annoying. And Smug Surprise and Vault-Born Tyrant at the same time. I'm going to hope we hit a land. Well, or 2 lands, so we can put them into our hand. Wow! No land at all. At least we'll be able to Brotherhood's End most of the tokens. And hopefully they tap out so we can Brotherhood's End will kill the Mentor as well. Don't know why they didn't do that afterwards, but never mind. Come on, play another spell. Well, there's the land. I'm going to get out Terror of the Peaks just because it's such a big body and a threat. And Brotherhood's End doesn't kill it. That's an issue. And we only have 2 red mana as well. Let's see if this resolves. It does not. Yeah, I think we are most likely done. Especially if they got removal. Yeah. Yup. Yeah, that only having 2 red mana untapped. If we had 1 extra, we could have Brotherhood's End and then Lightning Bolt the Mental while whatever they cast in return was on the stack. But yeah, drawing. We had a bit of land problems at the start, which is annoying because this deck generally doesn't, but it needs land to perform. But you know, it happens. Oh, Glimpse the Claw into Invasion Zendikar. It's a pretty good draw. Well, Rockfall Vow turn 1. If they Deep Cavern back, we can definitely get back whatever they take. Up against a Golgari deck. So next turn we can Invasion Zendikar and we'll have all the mana we want. We'll get our second red source with that. Might even get 2 mountains. Let's get 2 mountains. Next turn we can get down the Tyrant, which is hard for black to deal with. Get rid of a Lightning Strike. You can't kill their Preacher. Just draw another one. Problem, yeah, so they minus a sacrifice this. We still get a token copy. And obviously they may have removal for it, but we do still get the life gain and the draw. And what we can do is we can Calamity. Yeah, no blockers. Calamity and saddle it with the token. Trample, so yeah. Gonna get another one. We'll have it had Trample, so it could trample through and take out the Liliana. And if they triple blocked, we could have just lightning striked the hostile investigator. So yeah, I think at the start we were, we had a bit of a slow start, but so did they, I think. But we still managed to get there in the end. Hello Magic fans, and welcome back to the wrap up. So we played 20 games of this deck, so quite a lot, but I think that just shows how much I enjoyed playing it. Interestingly, we played over double the amount of times on the draw as we'd done the play. We played 12 times on the draw and only 5 times on the play. I know that doesn't add up to 20, so MTG Assistant doesn't record if it's on the draw on the play if a game lasts under a certain amount of time. So if someone scoops within, I think, about a minute, it doesn't record or it's on the draw or the play. But overall, 60% win rate, so above average. And in fact, in standard, you're not going to get much higher than that. But this was in the play queue. Sometimes, as soon as you play Calamity, they just scoop as well, which is, it's fun to see the power, but sometimes you want to see the actual trigger. We never did manage to get the holy grail of Smuggler's Surprising in, Vaultborn Tyrant and Calamity, and swinging in while copying the Tyrant. But we did manage to do the Tyrant without Smuggler's Surprise, and we did a few Spineman's Armadillos. Copying a 7/7 twice is just, even though it hasn't got trample, it's just too much for a lot of people. And then Topiary Stomper is great value, getting extra lands. But the real one is Terror of the Peaks. You're pinging something, probably your target for 15, and it's hard not to lose to that. The only real trouble we had was against control decks, which is understandable. You'd have seen them in gameplay a couple of the times. One of them, they just countered things and then removed everything we played. And yeah, there were 2 games like that. But that happens. Not every deck can beat every other deck. But a really, really fun deck to play and a really powerful one. And I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video.